Hi and welcome to this tutorial. In this tutorial, we're going to take a look at the breadboard. So right here, I have a breadboard. This is where you'll be building your circuits. And as you can see, this breadboard is solderless, meaning that you don't need to solder anything. All you have to do is to plug in your wires or your LED lights into it, and it works just like Lego. Okay, so first of all, let's take a look at the horizontal row. Right here and right here. Actually, these are all horizontal rows. Okay, so let's look at the 5 holes right here. These 5 holes right here are electrically connected, and these other 5 holes are also electrically connected. However, these 2 rows are not connected, so if you want it to be electrically connected, you need to plug in a wire to bridge them together, because you see that there is a gap in between these 2. That means they are not electrically connected. You will need a wire to connect from this side to this side in order to make the both rows to be electrically connected. Okay, next up here. Okay, next let's look at the vertical row. Instead of being electrically connected horizontally, these are electrically connected vertically. So you have one right here, another line right here, another one right here, and another one right here. So you have 4 vertical lines in total. Up here, you can actually see that there's a positive and a negative sign. Positive, negative. You can also see it down there. It's positive and negative, positive and negative. So usually what you do is you connect the 5 volts from your Arduino to any pin along this vertical line, so any pin that is positive, and then you connect the ground from your Arduino to any of these negative holes. Okay, here I'm going to show you a demonstration of that. So I'm going to take out my Arduino right here. Here I also have some pre-bent wires, and you can see that at the end of the wire I also have them stripped, so I can just plug them in later on. So this is the first thing what you're going to do. So you take one end of the wire and you plug it into the 5 volts. Let's see, it's 5 volts. Make sure it's connected to the 5 volts right here. Then you connect the other side to any pins that is positive. So any pin will work. I'm just going to randomly choose one pin. Okay, just like that. Then the next thing you do is to take out another wire and you connect the ground. So let's find a ground right here. Okay, so you see here there's a G and D, so I'm going to connect it right here. The next thing you do is to connect the other side of the wire to any of the negative signs. So I'm just going to connect it right here to indicate that it doesn't matter if it's horizontal, if it's the same horizontally or not. It can be any holes on this negative signs. Okay, this is the basic step that you have to do for every single circuit that you're building. So whenever you're building a circuit, remember that this is the first thing you have to do. Okay. Also, another thing is once these are connected, because there are electrically connected, any pin on here on the positive, on this positive vertical row will also work as the 5 volts too. Same thing goes for this row. Because this is connected to ground, any of these pins will work as ground right now. What that means is that whenever you need a 5 volts, you don't need to go back to your Arduino and find another pin that has a 5 volts because you only have one over here. These pins right now, they work the same, they function as the same as this 5 volts, so it gives you access to more 5 volts right here. Same thing goes for the ground. That means, because you plug it right here, that means whenever you need ground to connect it to ground, you don't need to go back to your Arduino to find a GND, because you only have 1 over here and 2 over here, and sometimes that's just not enough. For right now, you have all these pins working just the same as ground. And if you ran out of ground over here, which basically that wouldn't really happen, you can always use the other side as well. So if you connect another wire from ground all the way to this negative sign right here, these will also work as ground too. Okay, so basically that's all with the breadboard. However, before you move on to the next tutorial, I want to mention the technical names of these stripes. So the first thing I'm going to talk about are these vertical lines, and these are actually called the power bus. Next, this area in between, this is called the prototyping area. So whenever people say that to plug in the power bus or to plug in inside the prototyping area, hopefully you know what that means. Alright, that's all, and I'll see you in the next tutorial.